Most don't see insanely great chest results from push-ups because they're simply just not pushing their chest to the absolute limit. You could be getting so much more out of your chest by changing the angles and positions that you're doing the push-ups with. Today I'm going to be showing you 5 key tips and methods in order to get even more chest growth from just push-ups. Part number 1 of today's video is going to be modifying the ring push-up. I've been promoting ring push-ups on this channel for a long time now. I mean, I've been making calisthenics content for like 2 months now, but I've basically been always promoting the ring push-up and why it's so crucial in order to really gain a lot of chest size, right? And I've even, after 6 years of training, have been adding more beef to my chest, especially my upper chest, by adding in ring push-ups, and they're so effective for everyone to actually include. So how can we modify the regular ring push-up that you've probably already been doing to get more out of your chest? First off, we're going to be actually flying more. So we're going to be trying to, instead of doing a normal push-up, we're going to be opening up the rings more at the bottom and pausing at the bottom position to get a deeper stretch and then pushing all the way back up. The reason why most of us do not really get a good chest stretch, that's a difficult ass sentence, bro. Chest stretch on their chest is because they're always stretching like this instead of like this. And if you want to actually gain muscle and stretch your chest under a greater load and you want to actually really tear up those fibers, you got to stop holding the regular position of the push-up and stretching it that way. You got to actually open up your arms as if you're doing a fly and then stretching the fuck out of that pec. That's how you're going to be getting the most results from it. In the Jacked by Calisthenics course, I all cover this fully, where we literally are going to create a full routine for you. So what I always like to do is start at a close angle, so where I'm basically squeezing the chest, right? Where I'm basically touching the rings, going down on a slow eccentric and opening up the rings fully so that I can actually get a real chest stretch on the bottom, a real deep one. And the way that I do it, the most effective way of doing it, in my opinion, is by aligning your shoulders with your elbows. So instead of having your elbows tucked in like that, you want to be opening them up. And you want to be basically having like a real fly type of motion that you want to be doing in this exercise. And that's how you're going to be getting the deepest stretch. Now listen, should you actually focus on getting the same amount of volume with this exercise as you was doing prior? No, I think you should do this exercise as a secondary exercise next to your normal weighted push-ups. So if you've already been doing normal weighted push-up, this is a great exercise to do, for example, right after, or you're going to be doing this for the last 2 sets of your exercise, of your weighted push-ups, basically, by getting more out of your chest. So that's how we're going to be modifying the ring push-up to get more out of our chest. Number 2, the way to get more out of your chest is to prioritize decline over anything else. Most of y'all think you have a small chest, but it's actually not really the case. Most of y'all have a small upper chest, and a small upper chest, that's actually the reason why your chest looks flat and small. Especially when you wear shirts and you do not have that split right here that looks very aesthetic, right? You're going to be seen as someone who has a small chest. If you have these big lower pecs, fine. But without an upper chest, it's going to look very flat. And you're only going to be having these low lower boobs, right? So how are you going to be building that upper chest? You got to be prioritizing the decline way of doing push-ups over any single variation that you're actually doing, even the ring push-up. So fuck doing all these flat motions or incline motions. Prioritize the decline and get that squeeze on that upper chest every single time. So with the decline, it's very important that you actually keep your back fully straight so that you do not turn it into a flat push-up, targeting the lower pec or the mid pec again. And actually, there are multiple studies even, and I don't want to be no science-based motherfucker, right? But there's multiple studies out there that the normal decline push-up or incline bench actually focuses on every single part of the chest as well. But if you would do a incline version of the push-ups or a decline version of the bench, you would not gain upper chest results from that. So if you do regular decline push-ups over every single type of variation, so decline ring push-ups, decline regular push-up, decline high rep, whatever type of variation you like doing, prioritize the decline in front of it. That's how you're actually going to be getting the most out of your chest gains, because now you're going to be targeting that upper chest, which is very important to have an overall big looking chest. Then we have number 3, and that's deep stretching. You have to prioritize that fucking stretch at the bottom, bro. Listen, our muscles respond so well to stretched positions and respond so well to stretched overloading. If you actually want to get more out of your chest gains, stop focusing on just trying to progress with the weight that you have or trying to progress with different variations. That's also very good, and that's also what I teach, but also prioritize that fucking deep range of motion. Use it. The reason why we have rings is so that we can go fucking deep. The reason why we have parallettes, go to coordination Maximization.com, by the way, is because we can go extremely deep. If you want to get all this equipment by yourself, simply click the second link in the description, make your order right now, everything you need, type in the code BARS10 when you actually go check out, and you'll get an extra 10% off of your entire order, and you'll actually have everything you need to elevate your chest growth from what it is right now to what it can actually be. So that's my top advice. Prioritize that deep stretching. That's the reason why we have a deficit push-up in our routine, right? That's the reason why we have rings. That's the reason why we have dip bars or fucking parallettes. You want to be prioritizing that deep ass fucking stretch. Now, should you go as deep as you physically can? I don't think so, because a lot of times we can go extremely deep, right? But let's say you are not used to it at all and you can only get like 3 reps very, very deep. Go a little bit less deep, still feel a deep stretch in your chest, pause for like a second and go up again. That's what I want you to do. And you want to match it with your previous numbers that you're usually doing these exercises with. Then we have part number 4, and that's going to be progressive overloading with limited weight. So if you have been watching my videos, I love the concept getting more out of less weight, right? I've been still doing the same amount of weight on my weighted push-up for 2 months now. And the reason why that is because I prioritize progressions in the exercise itself instead of actually overloading the weight or the reps. I like to actually change my angle. Instead of doing regular normal weighted pull-ups or weighted push-ups, I like to do it with a decline, or I like to do them wider, or I like to get a deeper stretch. That's how you want to be progressing. So very easy thing that you can actually implement right now is add in a stretched exercise to your chest. So instead of having the normal chest that you always been doing, focus on, of course, the deep stretching. But that's how you now want to be progressing. So instead of adding weight every single week, just add 1 second to your reps at the bottom by holding it and then going back up again. You'll probably notice that you'll go down in reps, and you've probably never experienced that because usually you're always just increasing the weight or increasing the reps. Increase the variation within the reps, and that's how you're going to be actually progressing. One of the most important things that you got to realize is that, of course, progressive overload is one of the most important things, but progressive overload does not mean that we should only increase the weight. If we want to build muscle, we have to focus on hypertrophy type training, of course, and it doesn't only have to be that way, but if you want to build muscle the fastest, it's the most easiest and reliable route to go down to, right? So we're going to be picking, like, let's say we do 10 to 12 reps on some heavy ass dips, for example, chest dips, right? Or, I mean, ring dips. If you have been doing 10 to 12 of just these normal depth dips or normal regular ring dips, start prioritizing the dip where you're actually going extremely deep. You'll probably get 4 or 5 less reps than usually if you do it that way. Then what you can do is stick to that for about 3 weeks straight while you progress and get your reps up with the variation that you're doing right now. The moment when you have prioritized that deep fucking stretch, now you're going to be doing that again, but pausing at the bottom and squeezing all the way back up and rotating the rings outwards. That's how you're now going to be progressing with that variation all the way to about 15 reps. Once you can do that, you're going to be doing a little bit more weight and you're going to be repeat the whole fucking process again. That's literally progressive overload. You're getting better at the exercise and you're getting stronger at certain positions in the exercise. And this doesn't only have to go for dip, this goes for every single exercise, such as push-ups, pull-ups, curls, dips, squats, lunges, everything. You can always make the exercise more difficult and pick a harder variation within it in order to make progress. Now, intensity over anything. You have to train hard, my bro. Most of y'all do not know how to actually train hard, and it's kind of concerning because a lot of people online has always been telling you that you need to just progressively overload and you don't need to go to failure. Just progressively overload every single week and that's it. The reason why that's incorrect is because as natural athletes, we need to ask everything from our muscles to be getting the most bang for our buck. If you actually want to make muscle, right? If you actually want to build a huge fucking upper body, lower body, whatever, wouldn't it make sense for you to get everything out of the certain muscle that you're training? So let's say you have 3 sets. Wouldn't it make sense to spend those 3 sets like your life is depending on it? Doesn't it make sense that you should spend those 3 sets with every single ounce of power that you got? Wouldn't that make sense? Because listen, that is also a form of progressively overloading. Intensity is basically you saying to yourself, I'm gonna go harder than last time because my muscles are now used to a certain type of intensity and overload. So we're gonna have to train a little bit harder. Add more intensity. Add some partial reps at the end. Add an isometric hold as I've been teaching you in the calisthenics course. Add these fucking things. In the Jack by Calisthenics course, I all cover this fully, where we literally are gonna create a full routine for you. If you're not ready for that, then don't fucking get it, but you're kind of pussy because listen, I've been spending so much time on this for the people who actually want to really gain muscle with this. Look at my my friend Matthias, look at some other people who have been doing my method. They are literally gaining muscle so fucking quickly, and everything that you need to know is laid out in that course, and we're gonna build a routine for you, and we're gonna stay consistent. So with that being said, let's get into the next topic. Should we maximize the amount of exercises that we use in a training routine? The simple answer is no. The amount of exercises that we have do not need to be maximized. We need to maximize the limited amount of exercises that we have. Exercise maximization is what you want to focus on, not exercise amount maximization. You don't want to be the type of guy who has weighted ring push-ups in their routine, and after that, decline weighted ring push-ups, then ring chest flies, then weighted ring dips, then body weight dips, then normal dips on the bars, then doing body weight push-ups, and then doing a down push-up workout, decline diamonds. It's fucking nonsense. I only have 2 exercises of chest in my weekly routine. 2. And I do that 2 times in a week. It's the normal weighted push-up, or maybe even the fly push-up. Basically, I combine both of them. The weighted dip and the normal ring dip, supersetted sometimes with body weight dips. So basically, the push-up and the dip. That is all I do, and that is all that you should do. And I prioritize variations within those. You want to be maximizing every single exercise for your chest to the maximum potential. So when you have a normal push-up, don't just do the normal push-up. Maximize it with the maximum amount of range of motion. Maximize it with the maximum amount of tension at the top and the bottom. Maximize it with the maximum amount of weight that you actually can do a certain amount of reps with. You want to be basically getting the most out of every single exercise. And that goes for every single exercise that you could have in your training routine. Now, again, if you want to focus on these exercises yourself and build a full routine, click the top link in the description. I'll help you out personally, and let's get jacked in 2025. And as always, make the sacrifice and stay resilient.